I'm the Million Dollar Cleaning Coach, and I'm in the business of teaching you residential and commercial cleaning service owners how to increase your bottom line and create the effective processes to build profitable 6 and 7 figure cleaning businesses. Today, I wanted to talk about 6 things that every cleaning service owner needs to know. Really, every business owner needs to know, but we focus on cleaning services over here. I need you to make sure that you either hit that thumbs up, you hit the like, you subscribe, you make sure you turn on that notification bell that you notify every single time that I go live. Some things that I really think that we forget or we really don't know. I want to have a conversation about some of the things that I learned. What were the lessons from them? Number one, this ain't easy. I don't want you to ever think that it is, because it's not. Building a business is hard. It's hard work. It's going to take a lot of your time. It's going to take a lot of your money. It's going to take a whole lot of your energy, because you are committed to growing something. That's why a lot of people will go and they'll buy a franchise, or they'll get their money up, which you got to start somewhere to be able to get your money up. But they'll get their money up, and what will they do? They will invest in other businesses that are already profitable. Because why? That business that's already profitable, they've already done the work. Now all they need is more money. If I've worked these years, I've invested, I've saved my money, now I can take those profits and invest it in other businesses that are going to be easy. Why? Because they've already done the work. But here we are, starting from scratch. Oh, we over here starting from scratch, y'all. And just like when you bake a cake, you know how you get all your ingredients together and you get your pan, you oil your pan up, your butter is the temperature, everything is perfect. You put that cake together, you put it in that pan, you put it in the oven, and you go to take the cake out and the cake fell. You put in all this work, you did everything. Now you standing there, I spent all my money on ingredients, I done put all my ingredients I got in this cake, and I don't even have a cake. That's business. That's how business is. You can think that you got it all together, that you got it all planned out, all figured out, and then something happened. Somebody came by and pulled that oven door and let that air into that oven, and now that temperature done fluctuated inside that oven, and now that cake ain't baking. That's how business is. It ain't easy. They can tell you on social media, just get out here, just do it. I want you to do it, but I want you to do it smart. I want you to do it strategically, because the worst thing to do is to give up everything and put all your eggs into this one basket, and this one basket don't do what it was supposed to do. I don't want you to be naive and think that, oh, I'm just going to start this business and it's going to be smooth sailing and ain't going to be no bumps in the road and everything going to be easy. It's not. It's not. I'm here to tell you. And as we go through this list, you're going to understand why I'm telling you that. The first thing is why it's not going to be easy, or it's going your level of comfort is going to be determined by the processes that you put in place. That's number two. You can do it, but it ain't going to work if you don't put the processes in place. What do I, when I say process? Have you ever been to a fast food establishment, and when you walk in the door, everybody, the little bell on the door go off, and everybody turn around and say, hey, welcome to, or hey, thanks for coming in? That's a process. They put a system in place. What do we do when somebody hits the door and the door opens? Everybody stops when you hear that bell and you greet or acknowledge that customer that's coming through the door. You think that the people that work there, they just do it because they feel like saying hi? I guarantee you not. They do it because the company, the owners, those before them, have put that process in place. This is how we greet our customers. Then what's the next step in the process after the customer has been greeted? Somebody takes the order. Then what happens after the order is taken? The order is sent back to the cook. Does what? The cook prepares the meal. Then what happens? The cook might put the order on top of this little silver shelf and put the ticket on the outside. Now the person that's over here that's going to bag the food, what do? They take the food off. They get the size bag. They make sure that they have all of the condiments that's supposed to go in there, the fork, the ketchup, the mustard, whatever you like. They put it there. Now they put all your food in there. They put the stuff on top. They fold the bag. Then they might call the name. But whatever the process is, it's a process. And until somebody actually sat down and said, this is how we do every and anything in this business. That's the process. Just like the person that's going to clean up after the night shift. And now it's time for them to clean the pop machine. Do you think they just say, go clean the pop machine? No, there is a system. It might be a laminated card with pictures of the step-by-step process. It might be written out in a manual. It's probably in the manufacturer's manual. It's a few different places on how to dismantle this machine and clean it every night. There are the tasks that are done nightly. There are the tasks that are done weekly. There are the tasks that are done every 2 weeks. And then there are the monthly tasks. Then there are the quarterly tasks. Then there are the 6-month tasks. Then every year there are certain hoses that needs to be changed. But hey, if nobody took the time to write that process out and teach the people that need to actually do the steps in the process, how is the process going to be done? How is that pop machine that's supposed to have a life cycle of 20 years going to get to the 20 years if the processes to maintain it are never established? I'm just saying. If the processes are never established in the beginning, how can the business operate? Number 3 is, this is the one thing that I need you to remember. I talk to a lot of y'all, and you get disheartened by the complaints, or you get disheartened when somebody calls and say they not satisfied. Let me tell you one thing I know, and 2 things for sure. Okay? You ain't gonna never please everybody. Let's look at it like this. Let's say you clean this office, okay? You clean this office 3 nights a week. There are 45 different individuals that are employees of this facility. You cleaned on Monday night, and all 45 of those people come in on Tuesday, and there's one person that has a complaint, and they go to, let's say, the manager of the facility, and they complain about the bathrooms. The manager then is going to call you and say, hey, we got a complaint today about the bathrooms. And you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I got a complaint. Hold on. It's 45 different people in that office. That one person, bathroom might have been good. The one person before them could have dropped some tissue on the floor and didn't pick it up. But then they come in the bathroom and they having a really bad day. Before they left home, maybe them and their spouse got into it. Maybe their kids had an argument this morning. Maybe they got some really bad news. They came into the office and their attitude just was so the I went into the bathroom, wasn't cleaning with tissue all over the floor. The way that they approach the manager is going to be the way that he's going to respond to you when he calls you with this complaint. He might not have never have gone into that bathroom to see how much tissue was actually on the floor or where the tissue came from. But because Karen came into the manager's office and she was irate, I can't believe y'all still got this cleaning company here. Every time I go in, there's tissue on the floor. Well, it's 44 other people that work here. And we were here last night and somebody has came in and used the restroom. With that being said, is that you can't please everybody. There are 45 different people in this office. That means there are 45 different personalities. That means there are 45 different ways that people handle conflict. What does that mean? That means that you can't take nothing personal in this business. And dealing with the public, you're never going to have 100% satisfaction ever. You'll never please everybody. And the moment you realize that, you're going to be 10,000 steps ahead of everybody else that's very emotional. Remember, this is business. Emotions and business, the two have no place in the same room. Remember, you'll never please everybody. Those that you please, what you do is you continue to make sure that you provide that amazing service so that they can continue to be loyal advocates of your business and refer those people that they know, like, and trust. That's what we're worried about. We're not worried about the people we can't please because, again, you'll never please everybody. And the moment you stop trying, you'll be a much happier person and business owner. Number 4, you can make a whole lot of money over here. But listen, if you don't learn how to manage it well, you won't be in business very long. The larger your business, the larger the checks. The larger the contracts, the larger the checks. The more clients you have, the larger your account will be. It's not all your money. You must learn how to manage your money. If you're not a good manager of your money, you need to click the link and you need to get the Money Manager. It's a budget calculator for cleaners, and it definitely will help you to reach your goals, stay on track, make sure you're not spending too much, and make sure that you're bringing in all the money that you deserve and that you have earned. But listen, it's a lot of money to be made over here in cleaning. People can talk about you all day long. They can talk about you cleaning these toilets, but guess whose job ain't going nowhere no time soon? The cleaning lady. I'm just saying, it's just some things that have to be done manually. And we are compensated very well for what we do. But the key to it is understanding not just your numbers, but where all of the money is to be allocated. That's more important than just knowing your numbers, knowing where every last one of your dollars should go, and understanding the importance of managing your money. I got one client, and one of her checks is $48,000 a month. A lot of people don't make that in a whole year. And she gets it off one contract every single month. The one thing that she must do is manage her money. The checks get large. Some of us don't even make six figures a year. Imagine getting six figures in a month. If you've never had it, it literally can make you be like, oh my God, everything that you never had, you go out and you try to get it because you never had that much money. And I'm telling you this because I was she. My mama will tell you. Y'all, I bought everything I didn't need. I was the QVC. I just would sit at home and just shop because I just had the money in my account. But the money wasn't mine. That's the thing. You got to know that you're going to make a lot of money, and you got to understand how to manage your money. Because if you don't, listen, you're not going to be in business long, because you're going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's the worst thing to do. If you're doing it in your personal life, imagine doing it in your business when there's so many other people connected to the revenue that you bring in. Okay? Keep that in mind. Retention is the name of the game. If ain't nobody told you, number 5 is retention is the name of the game. Think about this. Watch me now. I'm building a building, and I'm taking a brick and I'm putting a brick here and I'm putting a brick here. Now, just imagine if I didn't have to move my bottom hand. I'm putting a brick here. 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 What's happening? My building is getting taller. It's getting bigger. But if I'm building a building and I'm doing this and I'm taking away a brick, okay, I took that brick away and now I built again. And then I took this brick away. That brick is gone. But now I got another one. So I put this one out here. And then somebody came and stole this brick and took this brick. Look what happens. I never get a chance to grow. Why? Because I'm not retaining. If I constantly have to go out and search for new customers and new clients, and I constantly have to keep doing this to get to my revenue goal of maybe just 6 figures. I just want to make $100,000 this year. But if I never keep the people that I have and keep adding on to them and keep building, guess what's going to happen? I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to grow. I can take one customer that pays me $20 and service them 26 times a year. Or I can take one customer that I service bi-weekly 26 times a year, or I can go out and find 26 people that I need to service one time each. You still won't make as much as you will with that one customer that's recurring. Because guess what? Their money is just, it's not passive because you still got to do the work, but it's residual. It's coming. And it's not residual either because you still got to do the work. But the more you add, you get the point. It's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. But if I got to keep starting over, just like with your business, if you keep starting over, how are you ever going to get to that point? You're not. That's just like with your customers. You can't keep looking for new customers. Get them. I didn't see how many of y'all on here because you got your good attitudes. You got, oh, I don't need them. Oh, they can find somebody else. What if that happened with every single customer? You're going to be finding another business to start because you ain't got no clients to sustain your business. Retention is the name of the game. You need those customers. And then lastly, This was a hard pill that I had to learn. But that customer don't owe you nothing but respecting you and your business and to pay you for your services rendered. They don't owe you to be your customer. They don't owe you no tip. They don't owe you no Christmas gift. They don't owe you nothing, really. Just like this. If you have a business and your friend decides to use ABC cleaning versus your cleaning, that's your friend, but she doesn't owe you her business because you got a cleaning service. And I think that a lot of times we just automatically assume that because we have this service and they need the service, they're going to utilize our service because they know us. They're probably going to be the last people that's going to use your service. They're going to go to somebody else. What's the reason that people do it? I don't know. I don't even have an explanation for it. But we don't owe you nothing. And the moment you realize that, you're going to be 1,001 steps before everybody. I remember when I had my business, I used to be like, they know I got a cleaning company. How they going to call them? Or how they going to use them? Or you ride past and you see a cleaning company car outside of one of your friends' house, you like, now I know you lying. I know they know I got a cleaning service. I talk about it all the time. The audacity, the nerve. Business and emotion, they got to be separate. It's business, it's not personal. It's business, it's not personal. You don't know what the reason was they chose to go with them. They might have some stuff going on in their household that they really don't want to disclose to you. And if you come into their personal space, because it's different from visiting a friend versus being the cleaning lady. And everybody that's the cleaning lady, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We know all your business. Maybe it's some stuff that they don't want you to know. Or maybe they done heard something because bad news travels fast. That you know what? Now they don't clean as well as you think they do. Instead of the relationship being ruined, I'm gonna go over here and use their services. I can make sure that I keep this relationship healthy over here. The leads, the customers, your friends, your family, you expect them to support you. You expect them to utilize your service. You expect them to tell their friends about your business. But listen, they don't owe you that. They don't owe you that. Remember that. Remember that. Okay. But you still want to make sure you telling them. But just remember, if they decide to go with somebody else, it's a million other customers and leads and prospects out there for you to go attract. Make that your priority. Don't focus on who's not allowing you to provide them service. Focus on those people who are and make sure that you are extending the greatest service that you possibly can. Make sure that you share out my page. Make sure that you guys are subscribing. Make sure that you like and following. Remember, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time. Hey, I'm there, y'all. You can follow me on all three platforms. You all have the most amazing day ever. And don't forget, we'll be back. Make sure that you turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss me. Bye, y'all. Have a great day.